All right, guys, back to another Mercedes video this week. So we have my new Mercedes in here. The paint is what we're going to be adjusting today. So it may look good from a distance. When you get up close, the paint is definitely consistent with a car that has 45,000 miles that really hasn't been babied its whole life. It may have gone through some automatic car washes. It definitely has a lot of swirls. It has some damage from like bird droppings or sap. And but the good news is all of it is original paint, so we're going to buff it up to perfection, and then we're going to ceramic coat it here at the end. Now, I already have a very good ceramic coating video if you check the top right corner in the description of how to ceramic coat. The only thing different this time, we're using a different product. Again, I'm not sponsored. This comes from my detail friend that does high-end cars, and he now uses this product, and I got it from him. So the main stuff we're going to be using in this is the 3D one. We might use some other compounds. I got some foam pads, microfiber pads. In addition to that, this car has Mercedes Midnight Package, which essentially is Mercedes Chrome Delete Package. So they deleted all the chrome already from the factory. All we're really going to do is kind of finish the process. So we're going to delete the chrome emblems and add some black emblems all over the car. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take off the spoiler and do the carbon fiber spoiler that was on my other car. All right, guys, so the first step I'm going to do is clay barring the car. They're a very good product to get contaminants off of the paint. So one thing I'll notice about any car that hasn't been clay barred, if you run your hand on it, you can literally feel bumps. Now those are just road grime. They could be overspray from paint. They could be all kinds of stuff. You can actually hear it. What a clay bar does, it's basically a piece of heavy Play-Doh that can kind of just grab all those little pieces and remove them from your paint. So now you need some kind of lubricant. You can use quick detailer, you can use soap and water. The key here is to put some on there, and when you move the clay bar, I kind of like to constantly be turning it almost in a rolling fashion. If you look really close on the clay bar, you'll see all the little particles that it picked up. So you just want to make sure you mush it back around so you're always rubbing the paint with fresh, undirtied clay. The best part about a clay bar, it's like instant gratification. So as soon as you're actually done with an area, it's like silky smooth. And then you go to a part that isn't done, you can literally feel and even hear a difference. So anyway, I'm going to go through and go ahead and do the whole car, and then we're going to come back, and after that we'll do the buffing. All right, so we're down here at the badges or emblems. I'm going to go ahead and remove all the emblems now, and there's a couple reasons why. A, there's a lot of grime inside here. I could use a toothbrush and try to get it out, but it's going to be kind of tricky. And since we're going to be hitting the entire car with a buffer anyway, I might as well take these off now, buff it, and then put them back on before we ceramic coat. Now, I never like to eyeball these. I always want them to be precisely where it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down all of this, and that way when we put them back on, they'll be exactly in the same spot. All right, so there's many different ways to remove this. Here's my technique. I like to get them warm with just a hair dryer or a heat gun. You don't need to get them too hot. I literally think this guy makes it into every single one of my videos. I'm not trying to scratch towards the paint. I'm simply just popping these up with it. So I used to sit here with Goo Gone and scratch out with my fingertips or whatever to try to get this off and spend like hours trying to get off. And my friend was like, dude, they make a product for that. So this is like a 3M disc that you buy from Amazon. It's specifically made for this kind of stuff. And it literally makes it go from like an hour-long job to like a 10-second job. And this thing does not harm the paint whatsoever. You're gonna wanna hold it at a slight angle, support the drill. Now, in literally about 30 seconds on our first pass, 90% of it's gone. So now we can get just a little bit of Goo Gone, and any kind of residue is going to come off with this now. There we go. Now we got it all off, and the rest of it will come off with just a little bit of buffing. All right, so now I'm going to remove the factory spoiler to install an aftermarket. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. I kind of recommend just getting it nice and hot before you pull. So the tape is kind of optional, but basically what it's going to do is, since I'm going to be sticking kind of a credit card or a squeegee under here, it's going to make it really easy to make sure we don't scratch any paint up. So now we're going to take just a heat gun again and get it nice and warm. Again, you don't want to ever get hot enough that you melt anything. That's not the point. You just want to make it nice and, almost as hot as it would get in the sun. We're going to take our squeegee and just kind of go underneath here. That's going to break some of the tape initially. Right now I got my fingers underneath it, so when I lift up with, I don't know, probably about 20 pounds of force. Now I can just kind of slide one of these squeegees down and it'll kind of just essentially gently slice the 3M tape. So just be patient and just carefully work your way down. And within about 5 minutes, you can probably get the whole thing off. All right, so now we're about halfway, so I'm going to go ahead and heat this side. All right, now we're going to want to just kind of clean up the dirt because a lot of dirt seems to collect underneath these spoilers. So now we go back to our 3M tool and we're going to just kind of zip this all off. All right, so now we're just going to take this spoiler off and then glue it here on the back of the Ferrari. All right, so now we're about to get started. I've always wanted to do this before. So this is a paint thickness meter, and we're seeing like 4.95, 4.97. So basically around 4.4-ish to 5 is the rating. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to use a microfiber pad with 3D1. And simply we're just going to go over this a couple passes until we get the desired result. All right, so the first one we're going to go a little bit heavier, maybe like 5 or 6 pretty good sized dots. First I've evenly spread it around, and then we're just going to turn this up to 4 and then just slowly make passes until we get about 3 passes done. Right now, initially, that is looking real good. I can see what appears to be a box that maybe somebody set on here, and there's some extra scratches right there that will go through. But the rest of it, man, it looks sharp. So, where we're at, we're at the high 4, I think we got like 4.76 to 5.1 on this side. So let's just see what we get now. So we can actually see from that we really didn't remove any paint, which is encouraging that we're not actually like really burning through our paint here. So currently my plan with this kind of pad is 1 pass should be enough for everything, and then if I see anything like this, like the couple scratches that are here, look, I'll go over it again. But that should be enough to do the whole car, and it'll probably take us, I don't know, maybe 2 hours to do the whole car. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm halfway done. Here's kind of a quick comparison. You can see the driver's door has not been touched yet. Lots and lots of swirls. We get to the back door, and that is 1 pass on the back door. Now, it's not perfect after 1 pass. I'm probably gonna have to do another, especially right in the middle. It looks like there is a scratch, but like compared to undone versus done, it's coming along nicely. You can kind of see that they're actually gonna need some kind of sanding. So first I used a little bit of 2000. Now I have this the 3000 Trizact stuff from 3M, and that really helps you get it really close. So you barely need to hit it with a buffer after this. Cool. So after a little sanding, it is basically gone. You can kind of see a little bit of it there in the light. I'm gonna hit it with a buffer one more time, and hopefully this will be done. So we got half done, half to go. So one more important step, after you finish buffing the car like we just did, it's good to bring it out into the sun and get a good look at it. Make sure you didn't leave any halos. Also, you can note any spots that maybe you missed or anything like that. Right now, I'm very happy with what I see. It does look very, very shiny right now. Can't wait to get ceramic on that. So next step is to install the badges and then the spoiler. So luckily we took all our measurements before, So we're going to put them on the side. I've got these before where I've had to put on each letter individually because the spacing isn't correct. I measured this one, it's actually perfect. So I'm really happy with these so far. Okay, so what I did is I put some reference tape mark. So we're going to put just a little bit of alcohol and water mix on here. Basically, I'm using panel wipe, the same stuff I do before our ceramic coat anyway. There we go, V8 bi-turbo. All right, now we can move on to the other side. So again, I use the masking tape to my takeoff measurements, and then I had to kind of freehand this one. All right, all the emblems are now done. So now it's time to install the carbon fiber spoiler. So spoiler alert, every single one of these is made in China. I've actually tried on the silver car. I took 3 tries to get a good one. It's always kind of hit or miss, but either way, this one seems like a pretty good quality one. There is a technique to install these that makes them rather easy. A, we need to have this completely cleaned up with alcohol so it'll stick. And then B, it's the adhesives. If you peel off everything and then try to stick it on, you're gonna like not get it straight. We're gonna make tabs on the peel away part for the adhesive. Then we can actually literally set it on here, position around, and then pull the tab. All right, so we'll just get a couple pieces of tape here. So it's always nice to kind of start in the middle. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna slice this. Then you're gonna take this and tape it down. Take this guy, fold him over like this, tape him down. So same thing here. So when I install this, I'm gonna pull on these middle ones as I push to get them in there. I also went ahead and did the other side too, just in case it breaks. It's kind of an emergency thing, but we should be able to get it all the way with just these. And then also I did it for the ends. So the strategy here is I wanted to push as far up against it first. So I'm actually gonna do the bottom one first. After that's done, then I'll do the top. And we're gonna center it with the circle here. All right, so now we can just bring it in here and it won't stick other than just that tiny little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and center it on the star. All right, now before we push it in, we're just gonna double check how we look over here. So we're gonna go ahead and pull one of these tabs. Yep, see? That is why I built in the spare here. So maybe I was pushing just a little bit too hard. All right, so now we have this side. I'm gonna go ahead and just shove it in there. I can pull the tab on the other side. All right, so I'm fairly confident that that one is stuck well. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the top layer. Got it. First try. We can go ahead and pull the side too. Alright guys, and now we have successfully installed an aftermarket spoiler. Paint has been corrected, spoilers on, badges are on. Now it's just time to do panel wipe and then we're going to coat this thing. Alright guys, it is 2 a.m. I'm exhausted. The shop is destroyed, so that must mean we are getting close to being done. I intended to do both these cars at the same time, but the Ferrari ended up taking way too long to get the clear bar off. So it is not ready, so I'm just going to do this car for now. So you guys have already seen a ceramic coat video. If you want to learn how to do that, there's an excellent video there. I wore the same shirt, so you know it actually is me. I actually am pulling it up there because I am tired and I want to make sure I do this right. So here we go. Let's see, I know I said I wouldn't film it, but in case you are curious about this systemX Max, it seems to be exactly the same as the G-Tech stuff. You put it on there, it streaks, then it kind of, the lines come apart, the grit comes out, and then you just kind of level it. And man, is it smooth and it is shiny. All right, guys, literally 18 or 20 hour detail done, and I could not be happier with the results. These paint came out perfect. Man, it looks really good from every angle. I don't see any halos or any like things. I would definitely say all that work paid off. You can't really see the holes in the front bumper anymore. Big test, the really dirty and this worn seat, that's disgusting. And check out these seats. Like, they came out perfect. These look like they're brand spanking new.